Are you tired of feeling like your back is constantly against the wall when it comes to working with your bank? From my experience of working with 300 plus family farm operations over the past 5 years, a majority of people feel this way, right? There's gaps in knowledge, there's gaps in understanding how the bank looks at your operation, how they view the numbers, how they're coming up with their calculations, all of these things here. And I witnessed it myself inside the bank as well. But if you're in this position again, where you're just sick and tired of your back being against the wall, you need to make sure you watch this entire video because I'm going to talk about 3 specific things on the way that you think about your bank and how that relationship should be. That's going to give you the clarity into understanding how they work, how they're making decisions, and how you can use that to your advantage. So let's get into it. All right, guys. So the first topic that we are going to cover is built around your viewpoint or perception of your bank, and specifically your banker. Now, there's 2 different ways that you can look at your banker. You are either looking at them as a partner in your business or as an investor in your business. And those 2 distinctions are extremely important because it's going to change how you approach any type of conversation with your banker. Now, trust me, I was an ag banker for 6 years. I get that a lot of them, including myself at the time, we wanted to say that we were partnering with the farmer, right? We partner with you in your operation and things like that. Here's the problem with this, and I want to be just, straightforward here. I am not bad-mouthing any bankers. This is something that just happens, and it's regular and normal in the industry, and this is how bankers like to promote themselves. But the thing is, though, is stepping into being a business owner, when I am partnering with somebody, that means that they're signing on the dotted line with me. And what I mean is they're taking the risk with you inside of the business. To be a true partner in a business means they're involved in day-to-day decisions, means they're involved in the same level of financial risk. Now, I'm not saying banks aren't taking risk, but their risk is collateralized. What is yours collateralized by? Your hard work, right? Making things happen, turning whatever your business needs to do into actual results there so you can pay the bank back. The bank's risk that they're taking is collateralized, and they will be able to go after your assets in the unfortunate event of bankruptcy and things like that. So at the end of the day, when it comes to the question of is your banker a partner or are they an investor? Are they really a partner, right? When you think about it from that context and things like that. Now, I'm not saying bankers don't care about your operation. They don't care about your financial success and things like that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is as a business owner and as a borrower at the bank, you need to approach that relationship differently. And what I'm telling you is your banker is not a partner. Yes, they may care, but they are not taking the same level of financial risk. The other problem with this though too is a lot of people look at their banker as an advisor when it comes to their finances inside their operation. Now, there's a lot of different opinions and everything on this. My opinion is that your banker is in no way qualified to advise you on multi-million-dollar decisions. That's my opinion of it. It is your responsibility as the business owner to know what the bank is going to say about whatever decision you're looking at, whatever investment opportunity, maybe it's buying more ground, whatever it may be there. It is your responsibility as a business owner to know exactly what the bank is going to say before you walk in. That way, when you're stepping into that conversation, you're not stepping in looking for advice. I'm sorry, guys. And again, this isn't bad-mouthing bankers, but even myself, when I was a banker, I was making 75 grand a year in my final year. I was in no way qualified to be leading somebody like a customer down the pathway of making a multi-million-dollar decision that required a 20-year commitment of making a massive financial payment every single year back to the bank. We're just not qualified to do that. And again, it's not knocking those people, but it's just as a business owner, I'm only going to take counsel from people and advice from people that are in the same game as me, or better yet, ahead of the game in me in certain things there. I am not going to take counsel from a person like that. And I'm literally talking about myself back then because I thought that I was supposed to advise people back then. That's just not the case, guys. We need to educate our customers so that they know what you're going to say before you even walk into the bank there, and they just have all the information they need. That is how it should be done, in my opinion. And again, this has been formed over working with hundreds of family farm operations over the years. And so at the end of the day, your banker is not your partner. They're not an advisor, but what they really are, guys, is they're an investor, right? The bank and the loan officer specifically that you are working with, they're responsible for deploying the bank's capital, which, side note, isn't even really their capital. But for all purposes in the society that we live in today, we'll say it's their money. But their responsibility is to deploy this capital and get a return on investment for the shareholders of the bank. The bank is a for-profit institution. They are in the business of making money. They are investors, guys. That's literally the definition of an investor, to deploy capital expecting a return on investment. That is what they are to your operation. So you need to treat them as such. And the reason I bring this up is because the last time that you stepped in to go, get a new loan or get your line of credit renewed and stuff from the bank, what type of information did you present to them? And what I mean by that is, what did your presentation look like? Were you detailed, structured, and organized with your finances, or were you like 99% of farmers and ranchers out there and basically brought in your balance sheet from last year, crossed out a couple numbers, wrote in some new ones, put your initials on it, and said, hey, here you go? Now, thinking through this even further, my friends, if you are the investor in this situation and I brought you information that was completely disorganized, you couldn't tell what the numbers were saying, you couldn't tell if the business made money or lost money, and they literally brought you in scribbled notes on a piece of paper there, what would you think about me? You probably wouldn't think very highly, right? You would probably think, well, if you want my money, you should be a lot more structured and organized with this so I can have clarity in the decisions that I'm making. And this is a big problem that we continue to see when it comes to farmers and working with their bankers and vice versa. There is just getting clean numbers there. And I'm just going to tell you, if you start to treat your banker and look at them through the lens of, hey, they are an investor in my business, which means I have to present my operation in a way that they are going to be impressed with so that I can make sure I get the best terms, the best rates, and everything across the board. And guys, we have seen this happen time and time again with our customers using Farmer Metrics. It completely changes your presentation and how you are presenting your operation to the bank there to where it gives you the leverage to negotiate interest rates and things like that, which has resulted in saving tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for some of our customers. All right, guys. Now, the second point that we are going to talk about here today, which we started hinting at it at the end of our last segment there, but was what type of information are you presenting to the bank, right? And what I mean by that is, are you presenting them with completed tax returns? Are you presenting them with detailed, structured, and organized balance sheets with monthly cash flow projections? I'm going to say it again, with monthly cash flow projections, not some written, put together annual cash flow projection when you're running a $3 million operation and you're trying to put together an annual cash flow projection. Guys, it just doesn't look structured and organized. Now, I get that that's kind of the standard for banks today. They get one balance sheet per month or per year. They get one annual cash flow projection. Guys, your operation is changing drastically from January 1st to December 31st, which is why inside of our software and what we make our customers do is monthly cash flow projections. And then after the month passes by, they're coming back in and putting in their actual so we can learn on how we operate as a business owner, how we think about financial decisions. Where did we screw up? What should we plan for differently next year? And we're also projecting out any potential problems that could happen down the line so that we can handle them today, not in the middle of harvest, for example. And one example there that I'll give you is maxing out your operating line of credit in the middle of the year because you weren't tracking your expenses correctly. Our customers don't have to worry about that because we're on top of the numbers. So at the end of the day, what type of information are you presenting to the bank as well? That really matters. And your structure, your organization truly matters in this case. And what our customers are able to do is with our software called Farmer Metrics, we can export our numbers on a monthly basis. And what I mean by that is our customers can go back and look at what their balance sheet was as of January 2024. And then fast forward to September of 2024. And we can see each month there because our customers are updating their numbers on a month by month basis. And this has given them the ability to have leverage over their bank because their banker knows this customer is so structured and so organized. Guess what? Any banker in the region would love to have their business. And so I need to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to keep their business and keep that interest coming in here because I know they could walk down the street and anybody would be happy to have them just because they're so well structured and organized. That's the type of position that I want all farmers and ranchers and ag business owners to be in because when they have that level of detail, they're going to operate completely different as a business owner. They're going to know their numbers. They're no longer shooting from the hip with financial decisions. And at the end of the day, they're holding all the leverage with their bank, which puts them in the position to negotiate interest rates and make sure they're always getting the best terms when it comes to their loans at the bank. All right, guys. Now, the last point here before we end today's video is, do you know how the bank plays the game of lending? Now, one thing that I learned when I stepped into the banking industry, I grew up on the family farm operation. I knew what happened, as far as what problems existed from an operational standpoint of the farm, but stepping into the financial side and looking at the bank here, man, massive gaps were exposed on just the lack of knowledge, but also too, I'm not just saying that farmers are dumb and they don't know what's going on. The banks should be held just as much accountable because it's our responsibility as lenders to explain things and understand and teach our customers on how we're using their information, how we want it to be structured as investors so that we can make the best decision within our process or whatever we have prepared inside the bank. It's the bank's responsibility as well, right? So I'm not just blaming one party or the other, but at the end of the day, do you know how the bank plays the game of lending? And if you don't here, that's going to be a massive problem. And this is why people feel like their backs up against the wall when it comes to working with their bank, because they don't know how to carry on inside of those conversations. They don't know what questions to ask. Their banker may throw out certain terms or something like that they just don't understand because they haven't been taught this stuff, right? So the number one thing that I've always focused on inside a legacy farmer, and again, using Farmer Metrics, was one, I want people to master their finances and really know at a detailed level where they're at. But then I want them to know exactly how the bank is going to use that information to determine their terms of their loan or their interest rate and things like that, so that our customers know whether or not they're getting the best deal or whether their bank is trying to put their back up against the wall when the bank doesn't have the leverage to do it, guys. And this is the power in knowing your numbers. This is the power in understanding how the bank makes decisions, what KPIs they're tracking, how they're using this to determine interest rates. You just have to know how the other team is playing the game. And when you do, you steal all the power and leverage away from them. And this is what I want to do. And guys, guess what? I know we're talking about taking all this power and leverage away from the bank. That's not really what my intentions are here to do, because as you grow into a well-structured, financially organized customer, the bank is going to love you guys. That they are going to do whatever they can to keep your business, because it is so rare today to have a farmer, rancher, ag business owner that is just on top of their numbers financially, knows exactly where they're at, is able to give the bank and present their operation in a professional manner. It's just, you will literally be in the top 3% of farmers or ranchers and ag business owners in this country. I'm 100% confident in saying that just with the information and the customers I've worked with over the years with a large sample size of 300 plus family farm operations. If you're able to present your operation that way, guys, it's just so much better for both parties. It's a great relationship. Everybody's on the same page. The bank is going to go to bat for you. You can, you're going to do a great job in presenting them with accurate and updated information, really at the snap of your fingers there with our software called Farmer Metrics. It's just a better relationship. And that's the goal here. That's what we want to create here inside of Legacy Farmer and our software Farmer Metrics. So guys, at the end of the day, if you're in this position where you're just sick and tired of feeling like your back is always against the wall when it comes to working with your bank, if you know that there's gaps there in knowledge and understanding what the bank is looking at, how they're using their information, how you should be presenting your information so you can negotiate interest rates or the terms of your deal and everything like that. First thing is, you're not alone. A majority of family farm operations are in this type of situation. Second thing is if you want help with that, this is obviously exactly what we do inside of Legacy Farmer and with our software called Farmer Metrics. So I'd invite you, if you're interested to learn more, want to explore what it would be like to work with us and our team and how we would onboard you into our software and take you through our proven process that we've literally built out with 300 plus family farm operations over the past 5 years, then there's going to be a link below this video somewhere. Literally, guys, go click on it. You'll be able to schedule a free call with our team. And on that call, we're going to learn a lot more about your operation. But guess what? You're going to learn about us too. And at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we're the right fit to work together. If we are, great, we move forward. If we're not, no harm, no foul. So book your call with our team by clicking the link below, and we'll see you on the call.